What's up, YouTube? SWUCube here, and today I have a very spicy meatball to share. We are talking about a two-player Twin Suns shared deck format that I have been crafting, working on. Did not originally design or come up with the original idea. I will give credit where credit is due, but I've been really messing with the deck and playing with it and testing it, and it is incredible. Like, so cool. I think this needs to be a part of everybody's Star Wars Unlimited life and the way they engage with the game, and we're going to talk about it today. So allow me to introduce you to what I am currently calling Trash Compactor. This is a 100 card pile that serves as a shared deck. This pile, it has some very specific attributes. I will discuss those in a minute, but first we're going to talk about the basic rules of Trash Compactor. So you put the shared deck in the middle of the table. Each player gets a custom base. This base has every aspect. I designed this using Lake Country as a guide, so I could have 34 HP because I like having slightly longer Twin Suns games, and every single aspect. So with this base, you can play any card in the game, basically without having an aspect penalty, right? So each player gets a copy of Skull Ridge Mountain. This is the resort from Skeleton Key, where all the pirates and bad people and all that, and we're hanging out and having a good time. I felt like it was thematic for this specific Trash Compactor stack, which we'll talk about again in a minute. Then you do a leader draft. Now you can do this in multiple different ways. Personally, what I do is just shuffle it all up, and each player gets 3 leaders, of which they have to pick 2. And those 2 leaders are going to be their 2 Twin Suns leaders. There is no, in my version of this, which I'm calling Trash Compactor, heroic and villainous leaders can play together. There's no reason not to do that, right? So you could play, hey, Roke, Raylo, or you could do Han and Afra, or Cassian and Afra, right? That's fine. Or you could even do Han and Cassian. Actually, it might be kind of a cool deck. So you have 2 leaders, right? So one player's got their 2 leaders and their base. The other player's got their 2 leaders and their base. You draw from the same, right? I don't have 2 of these right now. You draw from the same stack, and that's it. Now this, which if you haven't already guessed, this specific Trash Compactor stack is 100 cards built heavily on the themes of Shadows of the Galaxy. So in here, we've got Underworld, we've got Bounties, we've got Smuggle, we've got all of our favorite. It's basically like a best of limited set with some random legendaries that are wild. Best of limited set with some some cameos from other sets that I felt like were helpful for the format, like Pirate and Starfighter from the first set. And the idea is to have support in this pile of cards for all of the leaders, all of the common leaders, basically, from the draft set, for the most part. Some don't make it in, but for the most part, right? We've got Han, we've got Rey, we've got Bosk, right? Bosk needs to have a certain ratio of bounties available, so I was very, very specific to include enough bounties to support Bosk. Cassian is in as a cameo from another set because I didn't like the other, the leader from that. We got Dr. Afra's in here, Boba Fett, Cad Bane, Lando, Jyn Erso's another cameo, Hondo, Jabba, Krennic's a cameo, Chewbacca's a cameo, and Gar Saxon, right? So predominantly Shadows of the Galaxy leaders, all Shadows of the Galaxy mechanics, and that's basically it. I mean, I got pretty nerdy, as I want to do, with spreadsheets and stuff, figuring out the optimal mix of mechanics so that it mirrored the availability of things in a draft set, so that these various leaders were supported in the same level that they were supported in the draft set, right? This is a super, super fast way to get 2 people playing a Twin Suns type game, and it feels very Twin Sunsy. You're playing with leaders that have, for the most part, have mechanics that are supported in the set. In Twin Suns, you can play like three different colors and 1 affiliation. that's like more than half the way there to playing everything. And in this, you just play everything. Um, Games are chaotic. They're quick. The reason I'm calling it Trash Compactor is because you kind of just smash everything together. And in the movie, A New Hope, there were 4 people in the Trash Compactor. And there are 4 leaders in a game, a 2-player game of Trash Compactor. These games do not have to be 2 players. If you wanted to play 3 players with a 100 card stack, you definitely could. If you wanted to play more than 3 players with a 100 card stack, you'd probably run out of cards. I wanted to just make this thing portable, quick. You could fit this in a big fat deck box, probably. Probably not actually, but it is. It's very, very cool. I've played a couple games. Actually, played one test game, and my brother and I, who we've played this with, absolutely loved it. I think I'm going to probably be building more of these, focused on different sets. Certain sets will be better for this than others, but I think the Underworld theme with the Skull Ridge Mountain themed base is very good for this type of thing. It's just like the flavor kind of works. The mechanics, the smuggle thing and the bounty thing is really, really good in a chaotic Twin Suns game. Like that kind of value engine. Sorry, that's going to mess with my audio. I dropped some cards on the floor. Work really, really well. So what else do I have to say? Credit. This idea is almost a 1-for-1 port from a YouTuber and Discorder, goes by the name of Scrith. I'm going to link his original video in the comment to this video. Scrith developed a format called Lake Country, where he used basically just the Lake Country base, which this is a Canva edit of, right? I used the Lake Country, washed out the image, added the symbols, and there you go. But he calls his format Lake Country. It's basically this, except I think he has a restriction that you have to have 1 hero and 1 villain unit, meaning that like if so you're like forced. I don't know. Watch his video. The rules that he uses are basically the rules that I use, with the stipulation that the player with initiative in Trash Compactor has to draw first. That matters because I include a couple cards that manipulate top deck, like Ezra Bridger. Very, very impactful port from set 1. This format is so cool. Like, there's so much gameplay jammed into 100 cards here. A game with, Gar and Jabba is going to play way differently than a game when you have Lando and Honda as your leader, or a game when you have, Boba and Cad Bane. That's a funny pair. Given the Boba Fett show. Anyway, that's basically all I have to say about this. It is a sweet little game. I will share my deck list in the comments. I think I built this thing for like $10, and I'm not including a couple expensive cards specifically because they're expensive, but I own them and I'm going to throw them in here. I just wanted to kind of proof of concept this thing for cheap. And yeah, like you can just basically take draft chaff, cheap legendaries, cheap rares of any given set, throw it together, do a little tweaking, and have the draft leaders. And you have yourself a Trash Compactor, and you have hours and hours and hours and hours of Twin Suns gameplay available to you with very little setup time, and also no need to have a play group where people are devoting time to build decks, right? This is why I do these things, because my play group, the people I play games with, do not want to do the lifestyle part of TCGs, but they love playing TCGs. So I do the lifestyle part of TCGs. I design the environments. I'm basically the TCG DM for them, and we play trading card games that way. This is going to be a favorite of ours for sure. I will next be designing a Trash Compactor for Legends of the Force. I think that would also be a pretty cool set to mess with. I think those leaders combined together in Twin Sunsy ways would be really fun and unique and interesting. And you can always make like slightly different rules for these things. So I'm rambling at this point. Check this out, build one yourself, play with it. This needs to catch on. It's a very, very cool innovation. All credit to Scrith for coming up with the OG idea. But I am going to make a run at coining this thing as Trash Compactor. I think it suits. I think it's thematic. It flows. And I have some track record with coming up with good names. If you search in the Discord history for the format Padawan, Yol Swukube was the person who originally came up with and posited that name for consideration. So I will take credit for that. And I think Trash Compactor should be the next one. So thank you all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. I am going to be recording, hopefully in the next 2 weeks to a month, the Set 5 update to the Swukube. I've got the changes in. I just basically need to get set up so I can talk about it. And I'm going on vacation here in a week, so that's going to slow me down for a little bit. And I've got other things that I need to do video-wise, so that's getting bumped down my list. But we'll get there. Thank you all for your patience with my slow release schedule of content. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, play Trash Compactor. Such a good format. All right. Peace.